Hey, how's everybody doing? Well, we got another FSD tester out there, and that would be me. My name is Adrian, and I've been driving this Model 3, 2025 Model 3 for about a year now, and I use FSD quite a bit, more and more since version 13. I'm on 14.2.1 now, and I'm just super impressed with it and watching the progress of it. I am a big Tesla bull. I have a lot of faith in the company, and but the FSD. I'm a technology guy. I'm no stranger to development cycles and whatnot, and I find the FSD super interesting, how it's progressing. And it's sometimes it's like 2 or 3 steps forward, 1 step back on some of these releases, and I really noticed that with the 14.2.1. It's good at so many things, and other things it kind of falters a little bit at, like I would say at a 4-way intersection, where it's a 4-way stop sign, not a red light, but an actual 4-way stop, that it's very slow. It's a 14.2.1 is a bit of a pansy, I would say. I don't know how else to describe it. It's super overly cautious, and it'll sit there for about 2 seconds, I notice. And what happens when you pull into that 4-way intersection, just as one example, it will like if you pull in first and then if someone else pulls in just right after you, a moment or two after you, maybe say 2 seconds, it will wait rather than initiating and going. And that's okay. I know it's siding on caution, but what happens is it causes confusion. So the other guy's looking at you and waiting, and you're just sitting there, and then they're like, what are you going to do? And then, so it just causes this intersection confusion. I think they need to just up that speed, that decision-making speed, a little bit more. Like if it's off the line, like at a red light, especially if you're in hurry mode or higher, it just goes, boom, green, go. And I think they need to tighten that up a little bit. I think it's causing a little intersection confusion. That's just one thing I've observed. Another thing I observed is sometimes pulling out maybe from a right-hand turn into traffic, it will, sometimes it'll go and then it will stop short. Now, I think that's a safety issue. It doesn't do it all the time, but if the timing's not right, it pansies out and it just stops. And even though you have plenty of time to come in, there's a car coming. And the reason I think it's a safety issue is because in real world driving, that's how you get rear-ended. The guy behind you is looking, he sees you going, he's looking to the left, and you stop short, boom, he slow speed rear-ender. And so I've seen that happen in real world scenarios several times over my 40 years of driving, and or 40 plus years of driving. And so anyway, so those are little things they need to fix. Merging onto the freeway, you'll be in hurry or Mad Max mode, and you got a ton of room. You're doing 55, freeway speed limit 65, and it's just waiting for this car to slowly come past you, and then it'll do this last second merge at the last moment, whereas you had all this time to get on. And it just they need to take turn the pansy down a little bit. It's very pansy-ish, or turn it up a little bit, or whatever you want to call it. And so it's a little timid and compared to some of the previous versions. So anyway, my drives are focused a little bit more on rural driving in the East Bay. I'm not going to be doing a ton of freeway driving, although I will do a couple of drives into San Francisco. And I think that's where FSD, you're going to see the most interventions. these guys that are driving on the freeway and these long trips, well, that's the easiest thing for FSD to do. It's simple. You're on a road, you change a few lanes, you get on, you get off, you go charge. That's simple. But challenging rural driving with intersections and construction work and people doing weird things during odd hours, I think that's where you're going to see these more and more interventions. I hear some pretty high numbers like, oh, I drove, 600 miles, 100%, no interventions. And I'm like, how is that possible? I just, like I said, I'm super bullish Tesla. I love the company. I think Elon's amazing. I think the team is amazing. I think what they're doing is amazing, but we're not quite there yet on FSD. I think we got several more versions to go. My guess is by late version 14, 15, we'll start to see a lot more traction. And that everybody says that iPhone moment or whatever. We have several versions to go. They have a lot of little things to fix without breaking other things. And so anyway, carry on. So let's do it. Let's do a little drive through rural East Bay, specifically the Danville, California area. And let's see if we run into anything on this little short drive home. This Alamo, we're actually in Alamo, California. This is a new Tesla charging station right here. I would say this is one of the top rated charging stations I've been to. It's just not that busy, maybe because it's new, but there's so many things here. There's a bagel place and a French bakery and a little beer pub and Safeway and just stores and delis, and it's all within super close walking distance. It's pretty amazing. I think that's one of the best ones I've ever charged at, even though I mostly charge at home. I think there's a little construction happening up here still. Let's see how it handles it. I was coming through that construction zone at night. Well, it was just kind of dusk. It was just getting dark, and they were pulling up the cones manually. Guy was walking, pulling up the cones, and as they shifted the lanes, and I was coming through. Everything was great, but as I approached the guy picking up the cones, he was probably 10 feet to the right of my car. The FSD kind of wheel shuddered and it hit the brakes very abruptly. It's almost like it was caught by surprise. And I took over because I had a guy behind me and I didn't want him, flipping out because all of a sudden I'm randomly hitting my brakes for no reason. But it would have been interesting to see what FSD did. I thought that was a fail moment. I'm not sure why it handled like that, but it was acting surprised. It was strange. That's really my goal here with this channel. I'm not really a YouTuber or a video blogger guy, but I happen to have a lot of time on my hands currently. And I'm driving this Tesla around, and I've been kind of enjoying FSD and seeing where it shines and where it doesn't. And I thought I should do a channel and post some of these videos in a little different driving scenario. I've watched. See, that was weird. That was it the balloon? It kind of hit the brakes there, kind of a false braking, phantom braking. I know there was a balloon there, back there to the left. Maybe it thought that was somebody. But no big deal. That's no big deal. Just a little caution. It's a little irritating for the guy behind you. Just, this guy's braking, he's not braking. Kind of weird moves like that is how these slow speed accidents happen. And I know the point of FSD is to resolve issues like that, but if you're going to have false starts and phantom braking, things like that, well, you're going to still have accidents. People are going to rear end you, is my thought on that. But overall, I'm just pointing out some of the negatives I've experienced. It is really good. I love the way it kind of goes around some debris on the road, or if there's a cyclist on the road, it'll give a little room for the cyclist. I like that. I noticed we have a lot of these like 45 mile per hour roads around here with like a right turn off of it, and they kind of paint off a little, like maybe a 200-foot strip where you can merge into the right lane, which is a bike lane, and then which is good because you get out of the 45 and then you get off and then you make your turn. A lot of people will make their turn directly from the 45 and braking at the last moment, and that's very unsafe. You need to merge into the right. So version 13 was really good at it. It would merge in very early into that right hand little buffer zone and make the turn. I noticed with 14.2, it gets into that lane about midway, which is still good, but it was actually better before, where it got into it earlier. I think as soon as you can get out of that, see, we go, there we go, braking. So it didn't know what to do, and I had to give throttle there. You know, why did it do that? So there you go. There's a perfect example of, we got a sign up, it says slow, and it basically came to a stop. It didn't know what to do. That was a very simple thing to get through. So I actually had to hit the throttle a little bit and get us through. That's not going to work with a robo-taxi. So if I had some clown behind me that was following close and on their phone, and I stop short like that, well, what happens? They're going to rear end me, or, you know, that needs to be solved. No bueno. So that was good. I'm glad we got that little example in. I think it's really good at parking, but like so many people have mentioned, Larry, I can't remember his last name, the investor guy. The guy's just great insight. But anyway, Larry mentions the same thing. He's on, it doesn't, you have to intervene. It doesn't park really where you want to park. And so I've thought about it, and what I'd like to see is, like, we have hurry mode, Mad Max, chill. I'd like to see 3 parking options, like quick parking, safer parking, or more with parking, or a next button. As you're about to park, or it's putting the blinker on, you can say next, 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 until it finds the spot that you like. I think that they need to do something along those lines as far as parking goes. I have had a couple of times where it reverses into a spot, and it's not that great. It's really close to a car on one side compared to the other, where I'm like, I don't want a bunch of door dings. I'm going to go repark. So while parking is improved tremendously, it's not there yet. All right, that was good. So this is simple stuff. This is just normal driving. FSD is super good at this. It's just a little more challenging areas where it falters occasionally, not always. Overall, like I said, super good, really impressed, but we have a ways to go. See that right off the line, boom, not even a second, green, you know, and we're rolling. But at a four-way intersection, it's going to sit there for, you know, a count of about 2 seconds. And I think that's too much. It causes confusion. Fine tuning, they'll get it. They'll get it. Every one of these revisions are huge improvements, but they also introduce some other issues. So that's just how it goes. Few steps forward, half a step back. I was talking to Grok about FSD too, in respect to altering my my path home, or the mapping, or say I wanted to go right and go a little different route home. The path selection is a little strange sometimes, and Grok told me that I can suggest it through the mic, talking to it, to say make a right at the next intersection, and if there's enough room or time, it will do it. Or if I wanted to exit at a different exit on the freeway, I can suggest that. I have not been able to get that to work. If anybody out there has gotten that to work, I know I can alter things on the map and so forth, but I'm talking about a verbal suggestion or recommendation of what to do. Has anybody been able to get that to work? Is that just Grok giving me some BS? I'm going to keep trying though. So this is weird. For whatever reason, it always ends up in this right lane up here. We have this merge. That was nice and aggressive that time. I like that. See, that was good. That wasn't the normal 14.2.1 pansy mode. It was aggressive off the line. It merged in. Many times there, it'll just kind of pansy itself up there and last minute try to merge in. And, well, that's just not a good way to drive. And so that was good. That was good. Okay. And no right on red there. That light didn't quite come up yet, but it did execute a right-hand turn there with that big no right on red sign. Not on just now, but in the past I've come through there, and so somehow it wasn't able to interpret that sign. That's a kind of a weird sign. It's not the normal no right on red sign you normally see. So maybe it's still learning about they use that sign in this town. I don't see that particular sign in very many other places. It's a little low, but they're getting it right in your line of sight. I couldn't imagine how FSD couldn't pick that up and try to interpret that. Okay, so we have a lot of braking going on there. We've got a kid there, I get it, but it's just, there's no stop sign there. It's just a road. And I get it, there's a kid there, but, you know, maybe slow down a little bit. It was about to stop. I had to get on the gas right there. So I don't know what these people are talking about. No interventions. I mean, I don't know. How many interventions have I had on this one little drive home? I mean, I've already had 2 interventions at least where I had to get on the gas and say, go. You know, you got somebody behind you, you're kind of randomly stopping. It's not just a slowdown. That was a hard, almost coming to a stop. yeah, mama should have had her child off the road a little bit more. But, oh boy. Hey, well, that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed that. My goal is to kind of provide the good, bad, the ugly of these kind of back road rural drives, and just provide a real world experience. Sorry about the dirty windshield. I just kind of noticed that. And we'll get it more dialed. We'll get a little better video quality, sound, and so forth, and improve this channel as we go. If you have any recommendations or comments or what you'd like to see, let me know, and I'll try to cater to that. All right, have fun out there. See ya.